Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. Goldman Sachs says to buy silver again. Let's explore! That's right, you heard it here. A big old bank is saying to buy some silver. Imagine that. Crazy. Well, apparently this is because of a global solar surge. And we're going to explore this article from Barron's.com. Silver is set to benefit from a global solar energy drive, and it's once again time to buy the precious metal, Goldman Sachs analysts said. Silver stands out as an obvious beneficiary with global infrastructure, stimulus tilting towards renewable energy and solar in particular. Goldman analyst Mikhail Sprogis said in a note, solar investment accounts for 18% or silver industrial demand or 10% of silver total demand. So it really is growing. In fact, it very well may get chipping into the loss of silver being utilized for the development of photography years ago. Remember those days when you had to actually get film developed from your camera? The investment bank initiated a long silver trade earlier this year before closing it out after silver prices surged 50%, briefly reaching its $30 $30 per troy ounce target. Actually, it was just shy of that. Now with silver at $24 a troy ounce and a few potential upward solar surprises in the coming months, we reopen the trade, Sprague just said. Those upward solar surprises include both the U.S. and China stepping up plans for more solar installations. Yes, indeed. Fascinating. The bank's equity analyst said, in a base case scenario, I wonder if they meant best case scenario, global solar installations would increase by 50% between 2019 and 2023 as a trend towards green energy accelerates. But there are several upsides to which they described as an ambitious target, particularly if the U.S. and China pivot towards solar. Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden's plan to install 500 million solar panels in the U.S. in the next 5 years could boost global installations by 15%, they noted, while China could also increase installations in its new 5-year plan, representing a 40% boost in global solar installations. However, solar companies are likely to continue to minimize the use of silver due to its high cost, subtracting 8% of silver demand a year over the next 3 years. So that's something to consider too. As a point of reference, when I got my solar panels, there was about 20 grams of silver per panel, but they certainly are finding ways to be more efficient by utilizing less silver and making more of it work for you. But you think about it, all those solar panels, by and large, are going to stay on roofs of houses for years to come. They actually do a very good job. I've actually had to have some replaced, and there's another one that I need to get replaced. But nonetheless, by and large, they do last quite a long time. And the ones that are replaced obviously will be recycled, the silver taken out of those. While an acceleration in the trend of solar installations is clearly bullish, demand for silver as a safe haven metal and to diversify from gold remains essential for a sustained bull market, Sprague said. If both Biden and China press ahead with solar policy, Goldman's model points to a 9.3% boost to its $30 troy ounce target. While positive solar news, such as Biden's victory, could generate a rotation into the metal, the analyst added. Now, make no mistake, this is not an endorsement for Joe Biden by any stretch. Most of you know my political views there. But I think that even in spite of Joe Biden's plan with this new Green Deal, or a variant of it, essentially it's his plagiarized version of the new Green Deal. Well, I think that actual demand for the solar panels has become economically viable. In other words, the costs have come down enough that more average folks like me are able to afford it. And some of these, and I think the natural market, the free market, will work its way, and that's what's happening, I think, by and large, in spite of even these tax credits that have been going, the federal tax credits. But nonetheless, solar is picking up around many different places around the United States and the world. So I think you're going to see demand increase regardless. But I think it's fascinating that Goldman Sachs, this big bank, they are pushing for people to buy it. I would think that would be kind of the last thing they'd want to do, but it just goes to show you there's a lot of different motivations out there for why a big bank would do that. They've also have said the same thing about gold, that people should get into gold, and predicted a very high price at one point in time. And you've heard me talk about it with regards to a recent article about what's going on with the COMEX and the CME, and what are they doing as far as the demand for the metals to fulfill these settlement for these contracts that are out there. And so there's a lot of things that could drive silver's price one way or the other, and that's the thing to keep in mind. I like to keep a balanced approach with the metals out there for sure, because whenever you make a purchase, you are using your hard-earned money to grab the assets that everybody's been telling us are to preserve our wealth and to protect ourselves. Well, that doesn't help you a whole lot when you buy something and it drops $1 an ounce in price. And that has been what silver's has done during the course of the last few months here after its big boom here. So you have to understand, you have to look at the long term and understand what silver is and how it can protect your wealth. And it's not about what you buy in terms of, individual products or what have you, although I would certainly recommend the most liquid products when you buy silver for sure, so that if you need to sell, you can maximize your return, considering. But nonetheless, it is about understanding the potential or lack thereof. It's about preserving your wealth in the long term as a safe haven asset, as an insurance policy against economic instability. But nonetheless, there could be wild movements in either direction for this white metal, considering it is more volatile than gold. Gold, I believe, is the ultimate safe haven against economic instability, but I hold both metals, and I think it's good to diversify in both areas. People can take advantage of of silver's wild moves in the markets. I'm not one of those people. If somebody can, but nonetheless, in the long term, if you look at a chart, when we see what's happening, and there are signs to look for certain movements, an article like this may encourage you to buy silver, and that's fine. But just understand that when you make a movement in any type of thing, especially when you look at it in terms of it as an investment, which I don't like to look at silver as an investment, but stories like this, as a cautionary tale, it may seem promising to make a purchase, and it could be right. This could be 100% correct. But what I've found, as long as I've been in this community, and this is why I have really been trying to be very careful with how I present the information here, is that people can get set up for a big disappointment. And I'm going to talk about that in a video to come that I've been wanting to do for quite a while. But I'm waiting for kind of the right time to do this video about somebody who contacted me via private message on YouTube. Yeah, that's right. You used to be able to get private messages on YouTube. That's how long ago this message was sent to me. But nonetheless, there it is. Interesting indeed. Fascinating to see a big bank talk about silver and the global silver surge that I believe is still working its way up. I think it's going to continue regardless of who gets elected. And I think there's certainly many other factors that could either mitigate or propagate or silver's movement one way or the other. So there you have it. Post your thoughts in the comment section below. Would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.